Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. This is the part second on lipids and the metabolism of lipids. In this lecture, we will discuss the 100 important MCQs from 51 to 150. 51 MCQs is the first part that is the 1 to 50 are in the playlist lipid and the metabolism of the lipids. You can find it. The MCQ number 51 is the carbon 22 and carbon 24 fatty acids required for the synthesis of sphingolipids in brain are formed by. These are formed by the microsomal chain elongation. Sphingomyelins are phospholipids, which is a property of इकासोनाइड्स इकासोनाइड्स ये 2022 में पूछा जा चुका है। तो इनमें जो ऑप्शन नंबर डी है वो करेक्ट है। थ्रोम्बोक्सेन्स एंड द प्रोस्टाग्लैंडिन्स बोथ कंटेन a carboxyl group which is a characteristic of all the fatty acid components in the lipids। ये भी 2022 का क्वेश्चन है। they all contain an unbranched carbon chain। Which type of bonds present in vegetable fats account for their liquid state? तो liquid state जो vegetable oils में होता है that is due to the presence of the double bonds. Margarine is formed during using unsaturated vegetable fats by the process of hydrogenation जिसमें हम unsaturated को saturated में कन्वर्ट करते हैं तो हाइड्रोजन ऐड करेंगे। फैट्स कंटेन मोर केमिकल एनर्जी देन कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स। yes it is true because the in fats carbon hydrogen bonds are more than the carbohydrates। फैट्स में कार्बन हाइड्रोजन बॉन्ड्स ज़्यादा होते हैं कार्बोहाइड्रेट से। All of the following statements about the hypoglycine are true except it is a plant toxin, no it is not plant the toxin, बाकी सारी बातें ठीक है। Synthesis of prostaglandin is inhibited by। all of these are responsible for the synthesis of the prostaglandins। Animals cannot convert fatty acid into glucose because animal fatty acid को glucose में convert नहीं कर सकते because they have acetyl coenzyme A cannot convert it to the pyruvate। they acetyl coenzyme A cannot convert it to pyruvate। animals acetyl coenzyme A को pyruvate में convert नहीं कर सकते। What is the major protein constituent of high density lipoprotein? तो it is apolipoprotein A1। Phospholipids contain hydrophilic head and the hydrophobic chains. Mixtures of fatty acids in water are organized such that the which faces the solvent and the which are directed towards the interior। तो इसमें होगा both A and B जिसमें carboxylic acid groups hydrocarbon chain heads faces the solvent and the hydrophilic heads और hydrophobic जो tails हैं directed towards the interior। The cholesterol serves as the precursor for the following biosynthetic pathways। तो इसमें होगा thyroid hormone synthesis। thyroid hormone synthesis। Which of the following lipids act as a lung surfactants? तो lung surfactants में आएगा phosphatidylcholine। The number of milligrams of KOH required to neutralize the free and the combined fatty acid in 1 gram of the given fat is called saponification। Number which of the following membrane lipids have a direct glycosidic linkage between the head group sugar and the backbone glycerol? So it is the glycolipids। Triglycerides are nonpolar। Cerebronic acid is present in galactosylceramide। Acylsphingosine is also known as ceramide। Identify the simple lipid from the following। तो triglycerol are the simple lipids। All of the following are complex lipids except cholesterol is not the complex lipid, it's a simple lipid। Which of the following is an essential fatty acid? Linolenic acid is an essential fatty acid। Which of the following hormone is responsible for the activation of phospholipase C? Vasopressin is responsible for phospholipase C activation। Membrane potential and the proton gradient are both required to make ATP. The highest phospholipids content is found in high-density lipoproteins. The major lipid in the chylomicron is triglycerides. The irreversibility of the thiokinase reaction, formation of initial acyl coenzyme A, it is both A and B are correct, make this activation reaction the committed step on the pathway and is due to the subsequent hydrolysis of the product. So both A and B are correct. Long chain fatty acids are oxidized stepwise in one carbon unit starting from the carboxyl end. Carboxyl end से ये शुरू होगा. How many types of lipoproteins are there? There are 5 types of lipoprotein. Bile acid is derived from, so bile acid is mainly derived from the cholesterol. Which of the following lipid is mostly present in the mitochondrial membrane? So these are the cardiolipin. Cardiolipin are mainly present in the mitochondrial membranes. Insulin enhances the uptake of triacylglycerol in adipose tissue. Which of the following enzyme is activated that facilitates the uptake? So lipoprotein lipase is responsible for the uptake. Cholesterolemia means lack of the functional LDL receptors. Fatty acid breakdown of eukaryotes occur in, these are mainly occur in the mitochondrial matrix. Very low density lipoprotein are synthesized in intestine. Chylomicrons are synthesized in intestine. Familial hypercholesterolemia is a genetic disorder of the cholesterol metabolism. The defect lies in the impairment of uptake of cholesterol by the tissue. Which of the following inhibits acetyl coenzyme A carboxylase, a rate limiting enzyme of fatty acid metabolism? So it is the acyl coenzyme A. Prostaglandin E is a lower cyclic AMP level in adipose tissue. All prostaglandins have structure based on prostanoic acid, which contains a cyclopentane ring and has carbon atom 20. Regarding arachidonic acid, the following statements are all true except it has 20 carbon fatty acid with a 5 double bond. It is not the uh, characteristic of the arachidonic acid. Which characteristic does this lipid share with the wax? The answer is both contain one or more ester bond. Which characteristic is shared by this lipid on an ecocyanide? डिस्कस हो चुका है पहले भी. This lipid and leukotriene are both polyunsaturated molecule. Acetyl coenzyme A serves as a precursor for the synthesis of the cholesterol, and the biosynthesis of cholesterol is tightly regulated. Which of the following step is regulative step of cholesterol biosynthesis? Formation of the mevalonate. The enzyme that regulates the biosynthesis of cholesterol also serves as a druggable target for the reduction of the hypercholesterolemia, increased blood cholesterol, hypercholesterolemia, increased blood cholesterol. To identify the regulatory enzyme from the for the following option. Regulatory enzyme कौन सा होगा? तो HMG coenzyme A reductase. High mobility group coenzyme A reductase. Which type of chromatography lipids are carried out as silica gel coated plate by rising solvent front less polar travels farther than the more polar ones? So it is the TLC, thin layer chromatography. In thin layer chromatography, lipids are carried up by silica gel coated plate by rising solvent front less polar travel further than the more polar ones. So TLC is the best answer. Which of the following molecules is a typical fatty acid? A molecule that has one cis double bond in a linear carbon chain. So ये typical fatty acid है. Fatty acid synthesis takes place in cytosol. Cholesterol is the precursor of both A and C, steroid hormone and the bile salts. Which of the following hormone increases the synthesis of cholesterol by regulating the enzyme HMG coenzyme A reductase? तो पहले पढ़ चुके हैं इंसुलिन. Sterol regulatory binding proteins binds to DNA at the sterol regulatory elements to increase the expression of HMG coenzyme reductase and synthesis of the cholesterol. What happens when there is a presence of high cellular concentration of cholesterol? Decrease the proteolytic cleavage and the release of the SREP P from the endoplasmic reticulum. The lowest energy value lipid for human nutrition is Olistra. Olistra has the lowest energy value lipid for human nutrition. How many classes of steroid hormones are there? There are 5 classes of the steroid hormones. The oxidation of methanol, that is called the wood alcohol, in human retinal tissue indirectly leads to the blindness. Each cycle of beta oxidation produces, very important MCQs, one FADH, one NADH, and one acetyl coenzyme A. The three identical B subunits of F1 complex during the ATP synthesis have different affinities for ATP and for ADP. Where the acyl coenzyme A formed in the cytosol is transported for oxidation, so it is transported to mitochondrial matrix. MCQ number 108, hormones such as insulin and glucagon regulate HMG coenzyme A reductase by phosphorylation and dephosphorylation process. Phosphorylation of HMG CoA reductase result in decreased enzyme activity. Identify the correct statement from the following. So insulin activates the phosphatase that remove the phosphate group from HMG coenzyme A reductase. Hypercholesterolemia refers to the condition with high cholesterol with the serum cholesterol level of it is greater than 240 mg per deciliter. The number of water molecules consumed by the formation of phosphatidylserine are 0. Synthesis of the fatty acids takes place when carbohydrates and energy are plentiful. Which of the following is called milk ejection hormone? Is called oxytocin. Name the most active organs in the animal body which have the ability to synthesize triacylglycerol. So it is liver and intestine. Triacylglycerol stored in the body as cytoplasmic lipid droplets. It is true. Which of the following enzyme is responsible for the conversion of cholesterol to cholesterol ester inside the cell? Acyl coenzyme A cholesterol acyl transferase is responsible for the conversion of the cholesterol to cholesterol ester. Which of the following glycolytic intermediates serve as the precursor for the backbone for the synthesis of triglycerides? Phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylethanol amine. So it is the glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate. Glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate is a precursor for the backbone for the synthesis of the triglycerides, phosphatidylcholine, phosphatidylethanol amine. Which of the following pathway is not used for triacylglycerol synthesis? तो triacylglycerol synthesis के लिए glycolates pathway involved नहीं होता. Which of the following enzyme is not used in the synthesis of the triacylglycerol? Glycogen phosphorylase enzyme is not used in the synthesis of the triacylglycerol. So glyoxylates pathway is not used in the synthesis of the triacylglycerol, and the glycogen phosphorylase is not used in the triacylglycerol synthesis. What is the lipolysis? Lipolysis is the hydrolysis of triacylglycerol. Which of the following hormone is not used in the hydrolysis of triacylglycerol into the fatty acid in adipose tissue? So it is insulin. Ceramide is synthesized in the endoplasmic reticulum from the amino acid serine. Ceramide is an important signaling molecule that is called the second messenger that regulates the pathway, including which of the following process? So ceramide is responsible for apoptosis, cell senescence, and cell differentiation. So all of the above is the answer. Identify the phospholipid that possess a surfactant activity and is synthesized shortly before pasteurization in full-term infants, and its deficiency in the lungs can cause respiratory distress syndrome. It is the dipalmitoyl phosphatidylcholine. Mark the incorrect statement about the bile salt. It is hydrophobic in nature. It is incorrect. Triacylglycerol packed with the apolipoprotein and cholesterol in lipoprotein aggregate is called chylomicrons. What is the outcome of the accumulation of acetyl coenzyme A in the mitochondria of liver? It forms ketone bodies. Name the energy source for the brain during starvation. It is the ketone bodies. What is the biosynthetic source of all steroid hormones? So cholesterol is the biosynthetic source of all steroid hormones. The combination of an amino alcohol fatty acid and sialic acid form glycolipids. Hydrolysis of fats by alkali is called saponification. The number of milliliters of 0.1 normal KOH required to neutralize the insoluble fatty acids from 5 gram of fat is called Polanyi number. The transport of acyl coenzyme A for oxidation using a shuttle involves the formation of intermediate acyl carnitine. Which of the following proteins does not function in a cell-to-cell interaction? Cytochrome C is not the responsible for cell-to-cell interaction. It is the part of the electron transport chain. In mammals, the major fat in adipose tissue is the triacylglycerol. Glycophospholipids are the combination. Glycosphingolipids are the combination of ceramide with one or the more sugar residues. Which of the following membranes contain low cholesterol and high cardiolipin? Inner mitochondrial membrane of the hepatocyte. Which of the following is a choline containing lipid? So sphingomyelin is a choline containing lipid. A mixture of fatty acyl methyl esters are separated based on the chain length and the degree of the saturation. Based on the chain length and degree of saturation, mixture of fatty acid methyl ester is separated. The dye used in TLC, thin layer chromatography, for detecting separated lipids by spraying the plate is rhodamine. Option number C. The rhodamine is a dye used in TLC for detecting separated lipids by spraying the plate. In humans, a dietary essential fatty acid is linoleic acid. A lipid containing alcoholic amine residue is sphingomyelin. Alcoholic amine residue होगा तो sphingomyelin होगा. Cephalene consists of glycerol, fatty acid, phosphoric acid, and ethanol amine. Atherosclerosis can cause blood clotting. Palmitate has 16 carbon atoms with no, इसमें कोई सिंगल डबल बॉन्ड, टू डबल बॉन्ड, वन डबल बॉन्ड, ट्रिपल, इसमें सारे सिंगल बॉन्ड होते हैं. Palmitate has 16 carbon atoms with a single bond. It is saturated. How many ATPs are formed during complete oxidation of palmitate? It is 1 to 2. Which is a property of lipids in the cell membrane? So option number B is correct. Some types of lipids are bound preferentially in the outer membrane layers. So option number B is correct. During organic evolution, the process of the condensation and polymerization of the aldehydes and ketones and further their oxidation results in the formation of fatty acids. Which is a general property of cell membrane? So membrane lipids are amphipathic. Which component is found in all sphingolipids? So an amino alcohol is present in all sphingolipids. It is a very important MCQs. ये भी MCQs 2022 में पूछा जा चुका है. Prostaglandin decrease all of the following except uterine contraction. Hypocholesterolemia can occur in hyperthyroidism. These are 100 important MCQs on the lipids and the metabolism of lipids. Thank you so much. In the next lecture, we will discuss about more MCQs on the lipids and the metabolism of lipids.